Today we are in Fort Ord, Monterey, testing out the specialized levo. So let's get into it. We are in Fort Ord, California, during a family visit. We had a few days off the family activities, and I thought it'd be awesome to rent two specialized levo turbo for my wife and I, so we can get the most mileage out of that all-day riding. So this is the carbon version, 29-inch wheels, comes with a Fox 36, 160mm travel, and a Fox DPS, 150mm travel. The levo that we rented had the guide brakes, which I'm used to it because that's what I have on my downhill bike, which was great. The drivetrain is SRAM Eagle NX 12-speed with a crankset by Praxis, and the battery is the 320 watts. So I'm not new to e-biking. I actually fell in love with mountain biking through e-bike. And I'm sure there's a lot of people these days that going through the same experience. Back in 2013, when I started to ride, I was totally out of shape, and I figured the solution for me would be buying an old downhill frame and install a mid-drive motor in it. And that was awesome experience that got me in shape and made me fall in love with downhill mountain biking. Nowadays, all the big brands are coming up with their own versions of e-mtb, of their trail bikes, enduro bikes, sometimes even the downhill bikes. By now, every mountain biker knows it's so much more fun out of one ride, since you can get so much more mileage, so much more laps, and so much more speed. And a lot more workouts, since you're gonna be riding all day. So my wife and I decided that we're not going to engage the turbo mode, just gonna keep it on the first eco mode, which gives you the least amount of pedal assistance, so we get a hard workout. Obviously that's not the way I'm gonna use it in my local trails. I will use it only on the turbo, and I will just try to get as much laps as I can in 1 hour. But for general mountain biking, these type of trails are pretty good to get the sense of how the lever rides. Well, the first sensation that I felt is the stability on the high speed, and that thanks to the wide wheelbase that comes from the long chainstay really makes the bike feels like a modern downhill bike. The 2.6 tires felt like another extra cushions above the suspension, but most of the trails around here are pretty smooth. A few spots with little rocks, braking bumps, except some sandy spots that I'm assuming on a regular mountain bike you will just get stuck there and you won't be able to gain momentum. But with the levo, it was just plowing through the sand. So after half an hour riding, I realized that I can't define what's up and what's down. I'm just going up and down in the same speed and the same momentum, and it feels amazing. But that amazing is a really steep price. The specialized Turbo Levo Comp SL Carbon is $8,500 straight from Specialized website, and it's out of stock at the moment, probably because of the corona. Now, that kind of price, most mountain bikers could not afford. But for the people who could afford it and wants to get into the mountain biking world and feels like the only barrier is the physical shape, this is an amazing solution. Since the motivation to ride will be much higher, you're gonna get much more riding time, so you're gonna progress on each ride, and therefore you're gonna get in better shape. Once you progress your riding, the levo is already on a high level. As far as speed and durability, it feels like the levo could handle all of that, including jumps and high-speed bike park trails. So the levo could last on one charge for at least 22 miles if you go only on the turbo mode, which will drain the battery quicker, but you'll gain a lot more power and speed. On the eco mode, you could go between 50 miles to 80 miles depending on the terrain and the weight of the rider. On this session we did almost 22 miles in around 4 hours of riding, mostly on the eco mode. I switched to the turbo mode only in the last hour, and it looks like it's been using only 75% of the battery. Oh yeah, and we tried to ride it without the motor, and it wasn't that bad. Obviously the bike is heavy, and after riding with the electric assistant, it's a big difference. Definitely if the battery dies, it's possible to ride. The difference between eco mode all the way up to turbo mode is huge. I tried to climb steep hills on a hard gear fast as I could, and the bike was pushing me up, so that felt amazing. I got my adrenaline juices flowing right off the gate of the parking lot. So I'm looking forward to test the levo on my jumps, on my trails back in the Northeast. So stay tuned for another episode of Shredding the Specialized Levo Turbo Comp SL. Hopefully that was a helpful episode. I want to give a shout out to Workhorse Bicycles bike shop in Monterey that I rented the bike from. The service was excellent, super easy and smooth, and it was extra awesome to be able to rent 2 identical bikes for my wife and I for the whole day. Please leave a comment below, let me know if I missed something about the levo or anything that I don't know about the levo. And if you're new to the channel, please consider to subscribe if you love mountain biking as much as I do. Until then, stay safe, stay fast, and I'll see you in the next sesh. Peace.